Muslims celebrate Eid al-Adha with a strong call for unity in support of the national progress in the country. South Sudan gears towards full control of its air traffic system from Sudan. And government launches veterinary aid camp at Malabo Cattle Camp in Ladupayam, Central Equatoria State. Hello, good evening, and thank you for tuning in to SSBC. I am Mathiang Joseph. As Muslims across the globe celebrate Eid al-Adha, President Salva Kiir extended his heartfelt congratulations to the Islamic community both in the country and beyond. In a message shared with SSBC by his press secretary, Ambassador David Amor Majur, the President warmly conveyed his Eid al-Adha, which is to all Muslims, stressing that the occasion should inspire peace, unity, and renewed hope for the nation. President Salva Kiir also called for continued mutual support in the spirit of compassion, sacrifice, and faith, calling on the citizens to work towards peace and reconciliation. Now, in related development, Muslims gathered in large numbers at Zahra Square in Juba to celebrate Eid al-Adha, sharing messages of hope and collective call for peace and unity in support of national prosperity. The Vice President for the Service Cluster, Joseph Lagu, joined the celebrants and called for unity as she conveyed President Kiir's message of national unity and reconciliation.
At Al-Zahra Square in Juba, Muslim worshippers celebrate this year Eid al-Adha under the theme, "We draw inspiration from the sacrifice of the values of submission to Allah's command, contentment and obedience to parents." A key pillar in the Islamic faith, Eid al-Adha reflects the meaning of sacrifice and redemption. In her address to the worshippers, Vice President Joseph Lagu conveys President Kiir's message for Eid al-Adha and messages for peaceful coexistence among the people of one nation.
His Excellency, the President of the Republic, would like you, the Muslim community and the other communities in this country to live together in peace, to coexist peacefully, to live side by side peacefully with each other. So government provides for you security, so you can live in peace, so you can carry on with your businesses peacefully, following the rules and regulations. And in turn, government expects you to support, to contribute towards the revenue that government will use for providing for you peace, law, and security.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Wildlife Conservation and Tourism, Rizk Zakaria Hassan, calls upon all members of the business community to practice their trades diligently and transparently.
السيولة في السوق هي ما مسألة بتاعت الحكومة بقى، هي اللي بيدنا كلنا، لأنه أنت كتاجر كل ما يكون في سيولة في السوق، في تداول بتاع السيولة تلقائيا البضاعة بتاعتك بتمشي، لكن لو في لو في احتكار بالنسبة للسيولة أكيد السوق ما حيمشي لك، البضاعة عندك بتركض، وليش عندنا هسه. السيولة في السوق أنت كتاجر بتتوقف بتربح لما تكون المداولة المالية النقدية عندك سريعة، لكن كل ما تكون مجمدة بتعمل لك مشكلة. والسبب في الكلام ده أنا بحسب على التجار في المقام الأول، لأن التدبيس ما عند المواطنين، التدبيس عند التجار. وكونك أنت كتاجر تكدس مال دي خطورة بالنسبة لك، وأنت تكون قتلت رأس مالك، لأنه أنت لما تاخد قروشك في شوال أنت قتلته. أنت كتاجر المنفعة بتاعتك في إنه القروش يكون دايم.
The Secretary General of the South Sudan Islamic Council and Imam of the prayer service, Sheikh Dr. Abdullah Barachwal, calls upon all members of the Muslim community to be peace ambassadors despite the challenges.
إننا أناشد في هذا البلاد المباركة أن لا نضحي بالسلام أيا كان الأسباب، وألا نعبث بالسلام والأمن مهما كانت الظروف، لأننا إذا فقدنا سلام ما نقدر نصلي زي ده، ولا نقدر نمشي في أسواقنا، ولا نقدر نمشي مساجدنا. وذلك نحن مجتمع مسلم منذ أي يوم وجد هذه البلاد، نحن جميعا قيادتنا وكل الشعوب المسلمة وكل المقيمين وكل التجار دائما نحن رسل السلام.
Eid al-Adha messages focus on collaborative endeavors to address security, economic and social challenges in order to build a united and peaceful nation. Abraham Felix, SSBC, Juba.
Now crossing over to Malakal, the capital of Upper Nile State, where Muslims, together with the state government officials, marked Eid al-Adha with messages of unity and peaceful coexistence. SSBC's Mario Suleiman reports.
Muslims in Malakal celebrate Eid al-Adha prayer at Al-Mawlud Square with calls for peace and security stability. Addressing the worshippers, the Imam of Malakal Mosque, Sheikh Muhammad Ali, calls upon Muslims to adhere to their religious values. He elaborates on lessons learned from the sacrifice and redemptions.
إن الله قد فرض عليكم الحج فحجوا على الإيمان والتقوى فهناك قد تركوا أولادهم وذويهم وأموالهم فيجتمعون يهللون ويكبرون في أرض وضعتها قدم رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم.
The State Deputy Governor Dengjo Angok congratulates all Muslims members upon the religious occasion. He encouraged all people in the state to work together for peace, unity, tolerance, and love.
وما عندنا أي دعوة غير دعوة السلام. دائما نكون محبين للسلام، دائما نكون محبين للخير، دائما نتمنى الولاية بتاعنا كأبناء بتاع ولاية بكل أجناس مختلفة، إن كان من السودان، من شرق، من غرب، نعتبره واحد من أبناء الولاية، وكلنا في ملكان محبين للسلام والأوضاع الأمنية مستقرة.
Upper Nile State Islamic Council Secretary Ashil Kur stressed the importance of solidarity and cooperating among Muslims. He affirms the state Muslim communities firmly rallied behind the state and national leadership in the search for lasting peace and security.
عيد بالنسبة لنا فرصة إنه نحن نلتقي كلنا بمختلف المكونات الاجتماعية والثقافية، وده بداية كويسة إنه نحن نحاول نرتق بالنسيج الاجتماعي بيناتنا كأبناء الولاية. نحن لازم ننقل التكاتف ده في المجتمع حقنا الكبير، مجتمع تعال النيل. نحن في الحقيقة كمجلس إسلامي في الولاية نحن واقفين مع حكومة بدأنا حكومة الولاية تعال النيل. نحن بنقف مع رئيس الفكر ميارديت رئيس جمهورية جنوب السودان.
A number of Muslim community members expressed their wishes, congratulations, and hope for peace and security stability across the country.
كونوا بخير، كونوا موحدين، وسلام يستقر ويعم بلاد على النيل وجنوب السودان. ونحن الحمد لله في ولاية على النيل بهذا العام في استقرار وفي توحد وفي لم الشمل قبائل على النيل.
تهنئة العيد الأضحى، منظمة العيد الأضحى المبارك في مدينة ملكال حكومة وشعبا. برسل تهنئتي ليهم من وأنا موجود هنا في ملكال، وبقول لهم عيد مبارك، عيد سعيد، وكل عام وأنتم بخير.
For SSBC News, Mario Suleiman.
Still in Upper Nile State, where the Muslim community joined in celebrating Eid al-Adha at Rang Peace Stadium, using the occasion to advocate for peace and religious coexistence under a calm and peaceful atmosphere. The Imam of Rang Mosque, Sheikh Lualding, urges the Muslim community to continue embracing peaceful coexistence and mutual respect. For his part, the Commissioner of Rang County, Ding Ding Lueth, congratulated the Muslim community on the occasion of Eid al-Adha and reaffirmed the county authorities' commitment to peace and stability as key pillars for delivering essential services to grassroots communities in the region.
مسلمين مبادرة الرن يقولوا مبروك العيد بقول لكم حافظوا على الوحدة بينكم وبين شعب مقاطعة الرن. رسالة الحكومة في هذه الأيام وهي رسالة ما بعيدة من المجتمع الديني، وداير أقول للناس إنه أي حاجة من صنعنا نحن كبشر ما صنعناه إلا كانت موجودة في الدين. نحن الحكومة قاعدين نتكلم عن السلام والوحدة والتعايش السلمي.
بسم الله، الله أكبر، اللهم إن هذا منك وإليك، اللهم إن هذا عن محمد وآل محمد.
وكبر الله في أيام العيد وعقب الصلوات.
Now from Rang County to Rumbek, the capital of Lakes Estate, where state government commended the Muslim community for their strong participation in the local economy, notably through their active presence in commercial markets, which contributes significantly to state revenue and support peace and development efforts in the region. This is being highlighted during the Eid al-Adha celebration at Rumbek Freedom Square on Friday. Representing Governor Rintoy Mabor, the Minister of Cabinet Affairs Stephen Mathiangdeng acknowledges the positive role Muslims are playing in boosting economic activities across the state. For her part, the State Minister of Trade and Industry, Rebecca Enoch, urges the Muslim community to adopt the Lakes First policy in protecting consumers, stressing that the Lakes State government maintains unity and has no divisions or misunderstandings with any religious groups in the region. The State Islamic Council Secretary Jacob Maker affirmed the Christians, Muslims and other faith groups in Lakes Estate continue to live in peace, love and unity for national prosperity.
من حقكم لازم تحترموا بعض، لازم تتعاونوا. أنه هنا مسلمين الموجودين هنا من قبائل ولا من أجناس مختلفة، في السودانيز، في الصوماليين، في كينيان، في يوغندا ولا آخرين. لكن هنا الأمانة كلنا هنا الله واحد.
الجفنة بتاعنا رينتوي مبهر رمز الحجاب لنا. عندنا أحزاب هنا لكن هنا ما شغالين بالأحزاب، شغالين بالليج ستيت فيس. ليج ستيت فيس يعني الولاية فوق كل شيء، ولاية أو مهم. أنت تجي هنا ابن الولاية، تجي هنا ابن البلد، ده في المقدمة أول.
وحكومة بتاعنا بتاع ولاية البحيرات ما قصر، كل آيات قاعدين نعملوا بيجي بيشاركونا ما قصر، بمعنى حكومة بتاعنا ما عنده كذا وكذا وكذا، يعني ده ناس ماشيين معنا بطرق.
Now in Western Bargazal State, the Turkish Religious Foundation marked Eid al-Adha by donating more than 900 heads of cattle and livestock. According to the foundation's coordinator, Hamid Adam, the sacrificial meat packages are intended for the poor and vulnerable families in the region. Governor Emmanuel Premo Okelo joined the Muslim community in Wau on Friday to celebrate the occasion. Addressing the gathering, the State Islamic Council Secretary Sheikh Ismail Taki applauded the state government for its continued efforts in maintaining peace and stability among all communities, urging Muslims to extend charitable services to those in need, especially during this holy occasion. Governor Okello congratulated the national leadership and the entire Muslim community on Eid al-Adha, describing Wau as a city of peace, harmony, and religious coexistence.
من بعد ذلك لحكومة الولاية والأجهزة الأمنية في أننا في ظل الأمن والاستقرار أدينا هذه الصلاة، وكل مرة بنأدي صلاة في جو موائم مواتي، وده بفضل الله جل وعلا وتسخير لأولئك الذين بيدهم زمام الأمور بعد الله تبارك وتعالى. فإن صوت الشكر للحكومة وصوت الشكر للمجتمع المسلم الموجود في الولاية، دائما سباقون لأعمال الخير. المجتمع المسلم يجب أن يظل هكذا. ونيابة عن حكومة بتاعت ولاية خرب بحر الغزال، نحن بنقدم بخالص التعاني والتبريكات لكل المسلمين والشعب بتاع ولاية خرب بحر الغزال بعيد الأضحى المبارك ولاية خرب بحر الغزال، ونجي نعيد معاكم وخصوصا في اليوم الأول اللي هو صلاة العيد، ومبسوطين برضو لأنه ولاية خرب بحر الغزال دي واحد من الولايات اللي فيه كل الطوائف الدينية المختلفة، ولكن الولاية عايش في استقرار، في تعايش ديني وسلامة بين كل هذه المكونات.
نأتي هنا لنذبح 950 بقرة في واو وأكثر من ذلك، وهذا اللحم ينقسم ويأتي الفقراء والأياتام.
Now, away from that, let's now revert our attention to the country's education system. The Minister of General Education and Instruction, Dr. Kuyok Abul Kuyok, says the ministry is advancing efforts to providing inclusive education for all, regardless of gender and disability in the country. He's speaking at Al-Boj Complex Secondary School in Maban County. Dr. Kuyok says the government is working to improving teachers' salaries and build the capacity of educators, particularly in teaching English. The State Minister of Education, Peter Alberto, announces plans to construct fences around all government schools, highlighting peaceful coexistence between refugees and host communities in the region. Maban County Commissioner John Paul acknowledges the challenges facing the education sector and stressing that education remains the key to the county's future.
The first message I want to say here is from His Excellency the President. His Excellency the President, General Salva Kiir Mayardit, has declared that education is compulsory and free, that all our children must go to school. Now, we need to do something to make sure that all the children come to school, whether they are girls, whether they are boys, or whether they are disabled. They must be allowed to come to school, because the future of South Sudan is in this kid, is in these children. We have to improve payment for teachers. Salaries of teachers must come on time. And I was happy when I was in Rang. We have seen that language transition. Some of our teachers were teaching in Arabic, and now the curriculum is in English. We will also provide training for those kind of teachers. We will provide textbooks for our students, so that this is one of the requirements of having quality education.
I have two things only to say here, and I have been saying, in behalf of our able governor and in behalf of our people of Upper Nile, we want all the schools to be fenced. ولازم يكون عنده حرس. الحراس لازم يكون 2 أو 3 بتاع مدرسة عشان يعمل حماية للعيال بتاعنا والأساتذة اللي في مدرسة. إحنا حكومات جينا شغالين بالسلام بين اللاجئين والمجتمع المحلي. أساس إنه لازم الناس يعيشوا بسلام، الشوارع يكون آمنة، الناس تمشي مدارس والأمور تبقى كويس.
And all challenges you already got from the director of Maban County. لأنه المدرسة والتعليم.
Now from that story we are going for a break. Stay tuned for more stories. Stay tuned. Welcome back and thank you for tuning in. The Indian Battalion under the United Nations Mission in South Sudan, UNMISS, launches a veterinary aid camp at Malabur Cattle Camp in Ladupayam Central, Equatorial State, Juba County. The program targets nearly 2,000 cattle in the area. SSBC's Isaac Ludoro reports.
The veterinary aid camp established by Indian Battalion will provide treatment for livestock suffering from various diseases in the area. Speaking at the launch, the Minister of Livestock and Fisheries Onyoti Adigo Nyikwes says the ministry has developed plans to establish veterinary infrastructures across the country to help improve the well-being of the livestock.
For millions of South Sudanese, animals represent livelihood, security, saving, and even status in society. Animal diseases, if left untreated, can distort entire heads and devastate households and increase tension over resources. But with quality veterinary care, awareness, and timely intervention such as what we have seen today, we can prevent such tragedies and build a stronger, healthier livestock sector.
The Indian ambassador in South Sudan, Anil, says livestock is a source of economic stability, adding that his country would open more veterinary camps in South Sudan.
Expression of our commitment, our dedicated and committed vet team from UNMISS of highly qualified Indian Army veterinarians and support staff are on hand, offering their expertise for health checkups, vaccinations, and initial treatments of your cattle stock here today.
The Director General of Central Equatorial State Ministry of Animal Resources, John Tombe, stressed the need to support the pastoralists with the vaccine.
They have come a long way from Terkenge up to here. And when they are coming, they encounter a lot of diseases. So I'm sure, as you have heard from the community leader, it will be a great help to reduce the incidences of diseases in the cattle camp.
The country director of the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, Misak Malo, says the organization targets to vaccinate 10 million livestock in the country.
We have come up with a number of strategies, and all of it encompassed into a terminology commercialization of the livestock sector, that we believe that working together we are going to ensure that the challenges that are being mentioned are able to be tackled.
Isaac Ludori Emmanuel, SSBC News.
Now, transport authorities have expressed optimism over the efficiency of South Sudan's air traffic management system as the country moves closer to assuming full control from neighboring Sudan. Transport Minister Dr. Lamakol conducted an inspection of the system to assessing its operational readiness and capacity. SSBC's Taban Juma reports.
As part of his program to inspect all departments under the Ministry of Transport, the Minister of Transport, Dr. Lamakol Jawin, has inspected the air traffic management system, a facility that will allow South Sudan to take full control of its airspace that have been under the control of Sudan since the independence in 2011. Currently, South Sudan and Sudan are finalizing the process so that South Sudan will take over the responsibility of its sovereign airspace after getting an approval from the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO. The Undersecretary in the Ministry of Transport, Cesar Oliha Marco, highlighted the benefits that South Sudan will gain after the full operationalization of the air traffic management system.
It's going to give us the power to control the airspace. It's no more like control by Sudan, but now we are going to have our own ATM to control our airspace, which is above 6,000 meters, or what you call the upper space and lower space.
The air traffic management system, which is being constructed by China Harbour Engineering, is not the only developmental project in South Sudan being done with support from the Chinese government. Cesar Oliha added that there is undergoing training for South Sudanese air controllers in China so that they will be able to operate the air traffic management system.
The first batch, about 24, already been trained, and another batch is going next week on Monday to China for the same purpose, for training. So it's going to be a continuous kind of training. Maybe every year, every individual has been trained. They'll be trained, especially with equipment, until they get it. Okay, but so far, as soon as we hand it over, there's going to be a responsibility between Civil Aviation Authority and then China Harbour Engineering Company.
After the full operation of air traffic management system, South Sudan will be completely sovereign in its airspace, which shall allow the country to secure its airspace and economically will help the country to generate more non-oil revenue, especially that South Sudan at the center of crossroads of international flights. Taban Juma.
South Sudan joined 186 other member states at the International Labour Organization conference in Geneva. Labour Minister James Hothmai led the country's delegation presenting on key labour issues during the session held on Friday. The conference focuses on global work-related topics including protection against biological hazards, decent work in the platform economy, and transitioning from informal to formal employment. SSBC's Deng Dut reports.
This program, according to Procurement Authority's leadership, enabled South Sudan's business community participate effectively in several business opportunities created by registering with authority in accordance with its 2018 Act as provided.
For the seminar of today, we are going to focus on how to implement the tools.
We apologize for that error in the video. Now moving on, the newly appointed Minister of Health, Sarah Kleto Real, has vowed to addressing the country's medical challenges through a strengthened institutional policies and improved service delivery. He's speaking at a welcoming ceremony at the ministry's headquarters. Minister Sarah stresses her commitment to ensuring accessible health services for all South Sudanese people. Minister of Environment and Forestry Josephine Napon Cosmos appreciated President Salva Kiir for entrusting women with the key leadership roles. World Health Organization representative Dr. Humphrey Kamagi reaffirmed the organization's commitment to supporting the new minister in improving the medical services in the country.
I would like to talk about the cholera. I think there is outbreak of cholera. This is one of the tasks I think the minister will do. Where I'm coming from, that is Eastern Equatoria, particularly in Capoeira, people are dying out of cholera. And I wish this will be your first assignment to go and visit those areas. And we'll always join you whenever you have any campaign. The Ministry of Environment, personally myself, will always be there with you. I would like to thank the female ministers, especially the previous minister, Yolanda. She's also my sister, and she has been doing her best. I think she was also one of the hard-working young ladies that we have seen in this institution. We would like to appreciate her and thank her.
Health is the foundation of a prosperous society, and I will work tirelessly to ensure that every citizen has access to care, to resources and opportunities they deserve. Health is not only a priority, but it is a civil right, and it is the right of individuals to be healthy.
The health sector, whenever all sectors fail in what they are doing, the problems all end up in health. Right now, I hope there is no one from Ministry of Water. It's the failings of Ministry of Water that we are struggling with cholera. It is the failings of every other ministry. Once they fail, people are going to get affected and they start to die. And then it comes to your table and everybody says it is because you have not worked that the people are dying. The health sector is quite complex. Any disease or condition you can think about across the world, you're going to find it here. You'll have a team member who is struggling with that particular problem. However,
you pay attention. This ministry, Al-Wazara, is the most unstable ministry in Juba. You pay attention. Al-Wazara ma sabit ay zaman fi laglaga ay zaman fi laglaga.
The South Sudan Relief and Rehabilitation Commission, in cooperation with the United Nations World Food Programme, initiated discussions aimed at validating the emergency preparedness and response report at the subnational levels. Earlier, similar training sessions were conducted in 6 states to strengthen disaster management capacities. Relief Commission Chairperson Stephen Quath reaffirmed the Commission's commitment to building national resilience and called for the institution of independent scientific and technical centers for emergency preparedness and response in the country.
We want to have independent and technical research center where it will be easy for us to ensure that we will be dependent on our own emergency preparedness and awareness when the disaster is struck. Therefore, I underscore RRC's continuous commitment to build resilient South Sudan to improve emergency preparedness, risk management, and anticipatory action. I urge all stakeholders to remain engaged and supporting the rolling out these efforts at national and subnational level, which is 10 states and our 3 administrative areas.
So as WFP again, allow me to say that we continue to be committed to developing capacity in emergency preparedness and response. We have been working together since 2013 and we continue again to work together in building anticipatory action systems and national and sub-national capacities to be able to respond early to hazards as they occur. So for this to happen, this calls for enhanced collaboration between us and the government, especially through the Relief and Rehabilitation Committee that we work with.
In a major step towards enduring peace, Pibor Chief Administrator Peter Guzulu Mazei and Jonglei State Governor Dr. Riek Gai Kok conducted a joint peace dialogue in Manyabol as part of a broader efforts to fostering grassroots peace and reconciliation. Supported by the United Nations, the meeting brought together community leaders, youth and women's groups from both regions. Peter Mazei stresses unity and peaceful coexistence, while Governor Dr. Riek Gai Kok reaffirmed his government's commitment to peace and stability as a foundation for development and national prosperity.
We have never felt like the way we feel today on Tamub. So I want to thank our government for that.
Let me tell you that I'm from Kuba. We were looking after cattle here. Nowhere that we doesn't know. All these areas that you know, we know. We were looking after cattle here. By that time, let us understand each other.
أنا دايركم تيجي تتكلموا أنتوا إنه نحن إننا دايرين سلام واللي معه سلاطين بتاعه الشباب بتاع قبل نعني يشيل الشباب بتاعه من خشم بيوت مختلف نمشي نقعد مع الشباب بتاع لو أنا زمان وكنا معنا كنا مع إسماعيلين ما في حاجة اسمه جنة بالسرقة.
Before coming to Maniabol, 3 or 4 times he already traveled up to Ajaki and made lot of arrangements for the security and the people displaced people to come back to Ani. Also, he traveled to different communities, Duk, Chichis, Ayod communities before coming here to understand what's the problems there.
SSPDF Brigadier General Gabriel Bol, former SPLM in opposition IO Army Commander, urges security forces at Dengala Training Center to maintaining peace and refrain from rumors that could cause instability of the country. He added that plans are underway to deploy forces to numerous military units, encouraging soldiers to serving the country with nationalism and dedication.
Police barib deployment police bukun ke. Jej barib deployment jej bukun ke. O hadada wukura. Afila dankum من تشيج أفيلا دان بتاعكم من إزاج من نادل ما دايرين سلام البلد ما دايرين صور ثلاثان ما دايرين صور ثلاثان يا الجنوبيين يبتو نفوذهم سلام يا كومرد بكون بجبور بكرة بعد بكرة لو مشي ديبلويمنت أكون بتاع المباد نحن بعمل تمتيج ورا جوبا ويا مال دول ما داير دخل في سلام كويت سلام نحن بساعدو يكويت سلام ندي مساعدة.
That's it from me and the team. I am Mathiang Joseph and thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for more programs coming up.